Welcome back to week 2 of my experience with the Sketchbook Revival workshop. If you're unfamiliar with Sketchbook Revival workshop, feel free to check out a couple of my previous videos. You can watch those first or just dig right in. So it's week 2 now and day 8. Let's get started. Today's session is taught by Sarah Schroeder, and she's an intuitive abstract artist and teacher, and she shows how to make vibrant abstract marker and pen drawings using the crinkle technique. Let's give it a try. It's day 9, and today I'm following a session by best-selling author and founder of Sketchbook School, Danny Gregory. While he shows us how to use our sketchbook as an illustrated journal and memoir, using a combination of drawings and words to help you connect with your memories in a creative and meaningful way. In his sketchbook, he draws a picture of himself as a boy and adds little supplemental drawings, which are memories and tell a story about him and what he was like as a kid. And then he also does a little bit of journaling to also fill in that information. I cannot seem to remember my childhood as well as I would like to, so I decided to draw a picture of myself and things that are meaningful to me as I am today. I started off with drawing myself, which is funny because I don't look like the picture I drew. I'm definitely a little bit heavier than my drawing, but maybe it's just wishful thinking. I don't know. I do have glasses, so that's accurate, and I do have curly, wavy hair. So, I obviously drew myself painting because art is something that I'm just in love with, and it's a passion in my life. So I don't know what this painting is, but I think you get the point. So the reason I'm wearing a glove is because for some reason this pen leaks, and I either need to get a new cartridge or a whole new pen. I'm not sure which yet, but I didn't want to get ink all over myself. This is my Great Pyrenees Luna. She's a big dog and she's absolutely gorgeous and she's the sweetest thing you've ever met. I absolutely hate drawing soccer balls. I'm not sure why I always struggle with them so much, but I always do. I'm always thinking about how I should be eating healthy and exercising. And so I put that down there because that's something I obsess about. I don't actually do it most of the time, but I think about it a lot. I drew stick figures for my family because, yeah, because I'm not very good at drawing people yet. When I go to the gym, I lift weights, so I thought that would be a good representation of exercising for me. And my pen just ran out of ink, so now I have to switch to a micron pen. I love to travel and I'm always thinking about my next vacation or my next trip somewhere. In fact, I think the anticipation and the planning of the trip is the part I actually love the most, which is sort of funny. But in 2018, we moved into an old Victorian home. It's about 120 years old. We painted it pink and we've been slowly renovating it, but it's taking way longer than I ever thought it would. But each time a room is finished, it's magical. And my home is also like my art to me, so it's pretty special. I've got two super sweet but neurotic cats, Lotus and Tiger Lily. They love to hide under the dining room table and jump out and scare my 85-pound dog Luna. Okay, now their quick little sketch is done, I get to color it in. I feel like a kid coloring in my coloring book. So this is supposed to be pink. When we moved in, we had the house painted and we had it painted. It was supposed to be like a peachy coral color, but it turned out pretty pink. And it was funny because the neighbor across the street is like a judge or something, so he's, a little more conservative. And he asked if my husband minded the color, which I thought was hilarious because my husband was totally on board with the color. But it was an ugly, like margarita color with rust colored trim before we painted it. So it's bright, but it looks a lot better now. So I painted my favorite shoes, which are dark red Asics tennis shoes. I even tried to buy a couple backup pairs because I love them so much, but they're all sold out, which is a big bummer. And I always wear yoga pants and a comfy sweater, so I gave myself a nice red sweater to match my shoes. So this was a fun exercise. I think it'd be a really cute gift for my kids. I could draw maybe an 8 by 10 size of them and their hobbies and their likes. Day 10, and today I'm following along with Trupti Karjuni of Blue Pine Arts. So I'm a little annoyed with myself because I didn't put enough mixed media paper in my sketchbook. I I didn't want to use my smooth paper for doing this, so I pulled out some mixed media paper from a notebook, but it's pretty thin and cheap, and I'm really not enjoying the paper. So next time I'll probably put more better quality watercolor paper in my actual sketchbook. What I'm going to do here is cut this out and glue it into the smooth pages of the sketchbook. So the end all goal of this painting is to make a landscape of trees reflecting into the water. And I'm using the water in the paint on the page to spread the paint into the image of a reflection. This is the first time I've ever tried sprinkling salt on the painting. I wish I had the bigger granules, but it makes it turn out beautiful like snowflakes. I think it turned out really pretty, but I'd love to give it another try and see if I can do it better now that I understand exactly what I'm doing. It's day 11, the final day of Sketchbook Revival Workshop, and today's theme is every day. So I chose a session by illustrator and pattern designer Stacy Martinez, and we are going to paint vibrant, juicy fruit using gouache, and it should be a fun, relaxing experience. So let's get started. Today is day 12 and it's the last day of Sketchbook Revival. I wanted to get out of the house, so I'm going to do this last page in my local coffee shop. So the cool thing about the Sketchbook Revival is it is free for anyone to join. However, if you want to keep the sessions permanently, you can purchase them. So that's pretty neat. So let's get to it. This last session is by Karen herself, and she has you designing or painting your front door or a special spot in your house. I chose the corner of my living room that I think is cute. I've been wanting to use my acrylic markers more, so I thought I would give those a try. I really enjoyed Sketchbook Revival Workshop this year, and of course I'm going to do it again next year. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you next time.